God bless football. Billy Gill.
God bless football, Mikey A.
God bless football, Fuentes.
God bless football, Stugotz.
Chris Sims is going to join us here on TV. On the audio side, Dallas Goedert and Chris Sims will join us on this week's edition of God Bless Football. Super Bowl champion Dallas Goedert.
Yeah, presented, by the way, by DraftKings.
Yes.
DraftKings, the crown is yours. You, we did a countdown here right beforehand that you counted very weird. Like, most people just do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You threw in, like, your own cadence, and you kind of threw everybody off a little bit.
I apologize
for that. False started.
Yeah, I did. You should have flagged me for 5 yards. You're right. You're right. I'm sorry about that. Mikey A is in a hurry. He said, let's go quickly.
Really?
And so I did 5, 4, 3.
That's what happened.
Is he? And then you paused to get him to jump. By the way, we're also presented by Smirnoff, the world's #1 vodka. Please drink responsibly. So you tried to get Mikey A to jump off sides.
I did. He didn't. So I have a false start penalty. So that's
okay.
Billy, I want to share with you, and I can't wait to ask Chris Sims about this.
Yeah.
A ridiculous, in my opinion, take from Mike Fuentes.
Okay.
I'll let Fuentes tell you guys the take. You guys tell me what you think of said take, and we will ask Chris Sims about it, and he will be the final arbiter on this particular topic.
Okay.
My take was simply that the Eagles' defense played so well that any quarterback that made the playoffs would have won that game. And I even gave myself a little out by saying I didn't think Russell Wilson could win that game.
Well, that's not any quarterback who made the playoffs.
But now, you know what? I've rescinded it. And the only one I wouldn't have faith in is Matthew Stafford because he doesn't have legs.
Wow.
That's
the guy.
He great arm, but Jalen had a lot of third and longs that he converted with his legs.
Just want to be clear, you're confident that Bo Nix would have beaten the Kansas City Chiefs, but you're not confident that Matthew Stafford would have.
I'll go one more. I have more confidence in Bo Nix than I would Jordan Love. Because Bo Nix is better on the ground.
Not in beating the Chiefs, in beating the Chiefs with the Eagles.
Yes.
With the Eagles team.
Yes. You just take out Jalen Hurts and you put in like a Bo Nix. Or you put in, obviously, a Josh Allen or a Lamar Jackson. Those guys win easily.
I'm eager to see how Chris Sims responds to this.
Well, Mikey A is shaking his head. What's going on over there?
So, peek behind the scenes here. This isn't the first time I've heard this take today. And the first time I heard it, I agreed with it wholeheartedly.
Thank you.
And now all of a sudden he's telling me Matt Stafford isn't the guy who's going to do it.
Right.
And I'm like, you know what? You're changing it. You're making me disagree with you.
Matt Stafford could do it.
Stay with your take.
Yes, I would. But
you'll get my support.
I said Matt Stafford's the one I had the least faith in. Not that he couldn't do it.
No,
but he was still doing it.
No. Russell Wilson was the only one that you might have had the caveat.
Wow.
And you know what?
Alert.
I like that you include him now. Russell Wilson wins that game too.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Well, we'll get to this.
No, that's a great job out of you, Mikey A. That's where he needed to take the take. He was unwilling to take the take to that take place. And so now we're stuck because now it's Mikey A's take and it's not your take. And I'm going to present it to Chris Sims as your take, Fuentes.
Wow.
I mean, Jesus Christ.
I have a
peeling off quarterbacks. I mean,
I have a new game that I want to debut today. If you guys want to debut a game today,
Is the game presented by anybody?
Huh?
It is. Thank you for asking. I was going to get to that. It is presented by Smirnoff, the world's #1 vodka. Please drink responsibly. Do you want to play the game now? Do you want to build up to the game? What do you want to do?
I do. Fuentes is very upset with himself because he keeps peeling off quarterbacks.
No,
and he should be.
I'm in. I'm all in.
It's
Everybody's in.
embarrassment.
Everybody's in again. Everybody's in.
Okay.
Huh.
Oh, now everyone's back in. Mikey already said that. It's his take now.
Yeah, my take.
Yes, let's play the game. Yes.
Let me ask you guys a question. I have a game for you. Let me ask you guys a question.
Huh.
Was there a quarterback in the playoffs that if you swapped out with Patrick Mahomes could have beat the Eagles?
Yep.
No.
Josh Allen doesn't beat the Eagles?
On the Chiefs.
Not a chance. Josh Allen
on the Chiefs.
Patrick
Josh
Mahomes
Allen
didn't
and the
have
Chiefs.
2 seconds to throw the ball.
Right.
He didn't have 2 seconds to throw the ball.
He
Nobody's
also,
winning.
by the way, like if we're going to be honest, Patrick Mahomes was trying to be the hero on a number of plays where he had like receivers that had he looked downfield, he probably could have hit or at least thrown to where he just decided, I'm Patrick Mahomes, I always get out of this. I'm going to get out of this again, and he was not getting out of it.
Right, but the reason
when Travis Kelce's dropping the ball left and right, you can't even throw it to your main guy there.
Right, but I feel like a mobile quarterback would be, better adjusted to kind of deal with that defense. No, am I wrong? Like Josh Allen would have had a better game than Patrick Mahomes, right? Because he can run.
I don't think there's a quarterback that has been born ever in the history of mankind that could have won that game the way it was being played.
Wow.
I think Jalen Hurts on the Chiefs wins that game.
No, definitely
That's
not.
crazy.
No way.
That's crazy.
Jalen Hurts has this thing where like he thinks he's faster than he is,
Right.
but he's just fast enough
Yeah.
to get you the yards you need.
He also has this thing
All
called
right.
the ring. Yeah, right.
Oh, yeah, we're doing this.
I'll
again.
make you a take deal, Stugotz. You give us that all the other quarterbacks would have won for the Eagles, and we'll give you that Jalen Hurts would have won for the Chiefs.
What about Josh Allen?
Done. Sold.
So Billy, your game here.
All right, so I have a new game that I'd like to run by you guys, presented by Smirnoff. We do game days. Please drink responsibly. Also, Smirnoff is the world's #1 vodka, and please drink responsibly on that note also. So,
All right.
here's the game. We have played throughout the season if the season ended today.
Of course,
For
staple.
years we've played
Yes.
if the season ended today.
Yeah.
Done this,
It's a good game.
year after year if the season ended today, if the season ended today. I have a classic spin on this game, or a
Really?
spin on a classic game.
Spinoff, huh?
Yeah, if the season started today.
Oh, we're on to the next season already, boys.
Off-season exclusive if the season started today.
Wow.
Actually, you know what?
Wow.
It doesn't even have to be an off-season exclusive. We could do this once the year starts and once the Bengals start like 0-4 again. We can be like, but if the season started today, where would you take
They'd be
Burrow
the
and the
best
Bengals?
team, yeah.
Right, they'd be in a tie
right.
for first place, right?
Yeah, exactly right. So let's try this out today, see how it fits for size, and then maybe we store it away for a rainy day during the season.
like
Because
it.
here's the thing.
Yeah.
Smirnoff, they're in this with us.
Yep.
Okay? They're here to present these segments for us. The world's #1 vodka. Please drink responsibly. And Smirnoff is presenting that
Wow.
week after week after week. And we're going to try on if the season started today. And if it doesn't work out, then guess what? Next week, we're going to have another game also presented by Smirnoff, the world's #1 vodka. Please drink responsibly.
So we're working at the kinks, is what you're saying.
No, I'm saying that we're going to try this game on for size. And if
Right.
it doesn't fit,
Right.
store it away for a rainy day. Maybe we do it during the regular season.
Okay.
But we're still going to play another game presented by Smirnoff next week.
Okay.
All right, so let me explain to you how this works.
I know how it works.
If the season started today, I'm going to
Right.
give you a scenario. If the season started today and then we have to take the team as is.
Okay.
And then project out how they would do if the season started today. So,
Okay.
if the season started today, I believe Tyrod Taylor would be the starting quarterback for the New York Jets.
He would be. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. You just want us to
How are we
respond
feeling?
to that?
Yeah, New York Jets. How are we feeling? Your team told Aaron to hit the road, Jack.
They did tell Aaron to hit the road, Jack.
Yeah.
We'll see if Aaron decides to come back. How would I
No,
feel about?
can't. No more.
Well, not to the Jets. How do I feel about Tyrod Taylor? I don't know. I'm numb. Like, okay, fine. Maybe this will work out. Maybe he's the guy. Maybe it is Tyrod Taylor. Maybe it's always been Tyrod Taylor.
All right, Fuentes inspired me for a new game also.
Oh, really?
After we can finish
You
if the
didn't ask
season
Mikey,
started
though.
today. Yeah, we can finish if the season starts today. But I have a new game. It's called Aaron or Aaron, and I'll explain how that works in a moment. Okay,
Okay.
Mikey,
All right.
back to you. if the
No,
season
I was
started
just going to
today.
point out there's a team with a worse quarterback situation than the Jets if the season started today.
Okay, who's that?
The Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah,
They don't have anybody.
that's where Aaron's going.
Yeah. Ooh.
I believe that's
Possible.
I believe.
But
now,
if the season started today, they don't have anybody.
Aaron-
then he's not there. He's not anywhere.
Let me
You're
ask.
right. He's
Let
not
me
there
let me
yet.
ask you guys something on this Aaron Rodgers to the Steelers scenario.
Yeah.
If Aaron Rodgers goes to the Steelers and Aaron Rodgers ends Mike Tomlin's winning streak for a winning season every year, not having a losing season as a coach,
Right.
I think that we could kick Aaron Rodgers out of the Hall of Fame, right? For ending that streak.
I'd be okay with that. Unfortunately, this is what happens, and I'm certain Mikey A is going to relate to this and agree with
Oh,
me
it's
on
not
this.
gonna happen, Stugotz.
They're not going to have a season in which they go below 500. They're going to have a season in which they win the Super Bowl. Like that's, I'm just telling you, like that's how we're conditioned to think. So
I think if Aaron Rodgers wins the Super Bowl next year, you should shave your head.
no.
Okay.
Billy, if you as a Dolphins fan, you should be doing everything in your power to get Aaron Rodgers on the Dolphins because it guarantees you a Super Bowl.
Yes.
It will
Dolphins
guarantee you a Super
need
Bowl.
a legitimate
by
serviceable backup.
law of Jets fandom. You win the Super Bowl if you sign Aaron
Yes.
I
written.
don't think that Aaron is going to sign with a team to be a backup. It doesn't seem to be in Aaron's nature, so I really don't know where he's going to end up.
I think he'd start in Pittsburgh. I do.
Tennessee.
I do like Mike. I like the resume not being that he's a 5-time MVP or he's won a Super Bowl and a Super Bowl MVP. It's look at what happened when everyone else left the Jets.
Yep. 3 Jets are on that Eagles team.
Chris Sims next. You're right, because Dan signs his paychecks, so that's why he is doing it. He needed an executive producer. Normally, me and Billy are off on Thursdays because we do the interview with you, we do God Bless Football, but Dan needed both of us today, and one of us had to come and talk to you, and Billy was not the guy, okay?
Damn. Okay, so that's why you asked about maybe moving this back just a few minutes to get Billy involved, and I'm sorry.
Yes.
I scheduled life today, so I have to do that. Sorry.
It's been a while since you could schedule. Right.
I know.
It's been a long time since you could schedule life, man.
I am. I'm ready for some luck. I will say this is like the last 2 days were the first time I think the whole season where I was a little like, man, I'm worn out. Like I'm ready for a break, and got next week off. Going to go on a little vacation. I'm looking forward to that, to seeing some sun and hanging out in the ocean a little bit.
Nice. Sims, what happened to the Chiefs on Sunday?
Well, an ass whooping. I mean, that's really what it is. There's no other way to break that down other than that. I mean, when we've talked about the offense and how good they are, the Philadelphia Eagles, they're simple. But then when you talk about the defense, didn't have to blitz the whole game in the modern NFL era, that's insane. To play basically in the competitive part of the game, the same coverage, basically 65% of the time, that tells you that they went in the game like, we don't have to change anything. We think we're far superior than them, and we're just going to do what we do, and there's nothing that'll be done. There's nothing that they can do to affect us. Now, where do you want to start? The big thing was their defense, the Eagles' defense and that Chiefs' offense. When when you can rush with front four like that and dominate, even when the other team keeps in 6 and 7 blockers versus 4, and you're still getting sacks on Patrick Mahomes, yeah, it's a tough way to live, let alone there's no way to run the football either. The Chiefs are one of those teams that take advantage of moments, right? We've talked about that, are so good in situational football. And this was one of those games when he went back the film, it just always, no matter what the play was, somebody messed something up. They never played clean football. They never got in a rhythm. They didn't own the moments. The Eagles did. And that, plus the Eagles being one of the best orchestrated teams I've seen in the free agency era,
Crazy.
That leads to, a 40-6 early fourth quarter lead.
Sims, I hate to make it so simple, but who's to blame? Who's to blame for the Chiefs for as you put it, an ass whooping?
Yeah, I think that I think what we see too, and the Chiefs are an enigma. I mean, that's the thing too. The Chiefs, what they've done the last 2 years is odd. I've never really seen a team do what they do. Go to the Super Bowl without ever really dominating anybody throughout the full year, right? Winning 15 games without really having one dominant win. That's odd for a team with that type of resume. Like we talked about last year, Mikey A. I mean, I know you're with me in this. I never saw a team play C+ and C- football and then just turn it on and go win the Super Bowl. So I think because of that and their ability to win some of these clutch moments in these games, I think they might have just looked at their roster in a few spots and goes, "Oh, we'll get it done," or "It's good enough. We're making it happen," right? But they finally ran into their kryptonite here, and I think it's more about not who to blame, but just that they need to improve their roster, obviously. And then I think that it gets double affected because the Eagles roster, you've heard me talk about it a lot. It's the best O-line in football. It's not close. It's the best D-line in football. It's not close. The best duo receivers, the best running back, top 5 tight end, awesome secondary, right? Good linebackers. They're a super team. They're as much as a super team you can get. And then you look at the Chiefs on some plays and you go, wait, their left guard is their left tackle. A Juju Smith-Schuster on the field with DeAndre Hopkins and Travis Kelce. Is there a slower group than that in football when you put it on the field? And then you couple that with we can't pass protect and we can't run, and Xavier Worthy's the only guy that can make a big play. And I just think they just got totally outclassed, Mikey A. Totally outclassed.
I couldn't help notice that you mentioned all those. They have the best wide receiver duo, the best running back, the best D-line, but you didn't mention the Super Bowl MVP. You didn't say they have the best quarterback. You didn't mention Jalen Hurts in that list of accolades.
Well, he's a top 10 quarterback for sure. And I usually do list them off and go, hey, he's a top 10 quarterback.
Right.
Now, I know he's a good football player. I've had people this week like, is he an all-time great? No, he's not an all-time great just because he won a Super Bowl. No, absolutely not. I don't think he should have been the MVP, right? I mean, Josh Sweat, the defense was the star of the game. They were up 24-10 in the game because the defense delivered 2 touchdowns for them, basically, right? So that's what I'm going to say. Jalen Hurts is very good. I give him a lot of credit, and he does a lot of good things. But again, at no point during the year, and now we can't swipe away like 5 and 6 weeks during the year where, the passing game was limited and he didn't play that well, and we were questioning their offense. And now we're just going to forget that because he won the Super Bowl and he's an all-time great? No, he's a really damn good quarterback on an all-time great team. And he had a good day. There's no doubt about it. And worst quarterback performances have won the MVP before. So I want to state that. I have no problem with him winning the MVP. But just like the Giants upsetting the Patriots in Super Bowl 42, Eli Manning won that MVP. No, the star of that day was the Giants D-line. Strahan, Tuck, somebody. It was the greatest quarterback ever and the greatest offense ever. And that's what won the game. Right? And we're in this era in some way or somehow. It's like the default mechanism is just always give the quarterback the award.
Mikey A sent me a text. He told me to ask the Fuentes question. I will not ask the Fuentes question because Mike Fuentes will ask his dumb, ridiculous question. Go ahead.
It's not a dumb, ridiculous question, especially not what Sims just said. My take is that with the exception of Russell Wilson, any quarterback that made the playoffs would have won that game with how good the Eagles defense played.
Oh, Jesus.
Any quarterback in the playoffs.
I don't disagree with that.
I don't disagree with it either.
Bo Nix. CJ Stroud wins that game.
Listen, I was wondering.
What are we doing?
I was wondering what you were clapping for with me there. They showed you on the screen. I was like, what's he clapping about? What am I saying? But no, I understand. Yeah. I mean, again, it's look at what they do. I mean, really. All right. So here's the difference. And I've tried to explain this. When people play the Eagles, it's first as how do we deal with their O-line? How do we deal with Saquon Barkley? Oh, no, they got 2 receivers on the outside that pose problems to us. And then it gets into, okay, let's talk about Jalen Hurts. That doesn't happen with any other great quarterbacks in football. That should just tell you. When teams play the Bills, it's like the first 3 things out of their mouth, they're like Josh Allen, Josh Allen, and Josh Allen. The same with the Ravens. It's like Lamar, Lamar, Lamar. When you talk about teams that have to defend the Chiefs, they're like, well, we got to confuse them pre-snap. Okay, and then the snap happens. And we got to make sure he stays in the pocket because when he gets outside the pocket, he's impossible to stop. Oh, wait, but then he gets outside of the pocket even when you try to stop him. So we got to have a whole bunch of rules for when he gets outside of the pocket. And, to your point, and that's what I'm saying, again, Hurts gets the benefit of some of the easiest looks any quarterback will get in football. And then he has 2 unbelievable receivers on the outside. It's an incredible advantage. As I've said before, and you hear me say something, like, you put Josh Allen or Lamar or Mahomes or Joe Burrow on the Eagles, we don't need to play the season next year. It's over. They're going to the Super Bowl. They've won. They're going to blow everybody out. That's just the plain and simple fact of nature from me, at least. I guess I should say it's my opinion. And again, I don't think he's bad. He's damn good. I get that. But I can't over-accentuate and explain how great this Eagles football team is and to the lengths the Chiefs had to change the way they play and do things just to try to stay in the game and make it competitive. And, of course, they couldn't do that.
Chris, my issue is we celebrate Patrick Mahomes. He also had a good team around him. That defense won him back-to-back Super Bowls, and we gave Mahomes all the credit. And now
I get it. That defense let up 35 points, and he scored 38 with receivers you don't know.
Yeah, but Jalen Hurts outplayed Mahomes 2 years ago. I
know, and I'm telling you, right? And he blew a 10-point lead that he got a free pass with. Nobody else in football ever got a free pass for blowing a 10-point lead in the Super Bowl.
You're right.
But Jalen Hurts did. I don't know why.
Right.
And I know, and then I know that, yes, you're talking about the great defense of the Chiefs. Yes, that gave up 35 points. And the great Mahomes with people playing receiver that Kadarius Toney, Juju Smith-Schuster, whoa, whoop-de-doo. They scored 38. And that was all because of Mahomes against the defense that was better than that Chiefs defense that was on the field there. The 85 Bears, that's what everybody told me that defense was. Last year, the 49ers, again, the defense was really good, don't get me wrong. But they were down, and it was the quarterback, again, with a cast of a rookie receiver, a tight end that's getting up there in age, and a bunch of other receivers we can't remember. But they won the Super Bowl because they just put the onus on their great quarterback. And that's the difference. One guy, they went, you're so good, we're not going to help you as much because we think you can cover holes. The other guy is being a quarterback of a team that has 0 holes. 0. And in fact, if you talk to most teams, they would go, he's the hole.
Right.
It's not a big hole, but he's the hole.
That's crazy.
But again, when your hole is, he's one of the 10 best out of his position in football, damn, that just tells you how good they are. That's all I'm saying, Stugotz.
Chris, my only issue with how we're treating Jalen Hurts after winning the Super Bowl is we all know he's capable of throwing the ball. He did it, as you and I pointed out 2 years ago in the Super Bowl, outplayed Patrick Mahomes. But he's the thing, this is the guy, a symbol for all the things we love about our athletes and sports. He has overcome adversity. He was at Alabama, had success at Alabama. Saban told him to go to Oklahoma. He went to Oklahoma. He didn't sulk. He made himself a better quarterback, got drafted in the second round, and now he's been to the Super Bowl 2 times in 3 years. He's 25 years old, and he just won his first ring. And we're just not giving the guy proper
it's
credit.
Great.
Yes.
And I will continue great. It's almost like the Tua thing with me a little bit. I'm not mad at Jalen Hurts.
Right.
I'm mad at people trying to tell me he's an all-time great now or he's the best quarterback in football.
Right.
And that's what it is. It's the ultimate team sport. Stop. I've never heard Jim Plunkett won 2 Super Bowls in 4 years. I've never heard him mentioned as an all-time great.
That's fair.
He won 2.
Yep.
He won. He didn't lose one. He didn't blow a 10-point lead in the fourth quarter with the better team on the field. That's all I'm saying.
All right.
Again, Jalen Hurts is damn good. I don't want to take credit away from him. I get more about what I'm getting mentioned on social media and those things. And yes, Jalen Hurts has improved in so many areas. And Jalen Hurts, what he did in the game the other day was, yes, he took advantage of all opportunities. But I am also here to tell you the truth and to let you know that, I know he throws the ball better. But again, off your point, Stugotz, they weren't going, hey, let's make the game tough and throw for 105 yards, in the middle of the season. And let's play close games to the Carolina Panthers and a bunch of other teams beneath us because we don't want to throw successfully. That's what you're kind of saying. And that's where I'm going to go, no. He didn't play well. They weren't playing well. We're not going to give him an excuse now because he played well in the Super Bowl and gets that. And he's damn good. He took advantage of that. I'm also allowed to say that because of what his team is, he gets looks that other guys don't get. That's all I'm trying to say. And yes, I'm sorry. I think Josh Sweat should have been the MVP. I'll never. 2.5 sacks. He's the reason Mahomes threw the second interception because he drove Joe Tooney basically up Mahomes' ass, and then he threw the ball as Tooney was going up his ass, and the ball got intercepted.
I'm just objecting to Bo Nix winning that game. That's all. That's where
he's got the legs. He's got the arm.
That's where I draw the line.
He's got the legs. He's got the arm. Nope. He would have been there. Right.
Oh yeah, right. Bo Nix. I don't know. That might have been a different challenge. I get you there.
Got the legs. He's got the arm.
That's a good one. But no, I probably would still take it. I would. I mean, Bo Nix could throw go routes to A.J. Brown and back shoulders to A.J. Brown, and then the defense would still score 14 points for Bo Nix. So, yeah, I don't know if I totally agree with you there, though.
Chris, if you had to select one guy to build your roster, would that guy be Howie Roseman?
Definitely.
Yeah.
I don't think that's even. I mean, they're on next level stuff right now.
It's crazy.
I mean, their drafts the last 4 or 5 years. I mean, they're insane.
I know.
It's not like they're picking good players. They're picking great players. Just think of one. I mean, Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell from last year's first round are staples. Long time. We don't have to worry about those 2 positions in the secondary forever. And they're going to go to Pro Bowls and everything. They draft Jalen Carter 2 years ago. He's arguably the best defensive player in football, right? Nolan Smith, the defense end from Georgia, in that same draft. he's already up there as one of the best defense ends in football. The O-line, I mean, yes, he's amazing. And then they make the appropriate moves in free agency to put them over the top. And, of course, that was Saquon Barkley. And that's the difference between the last Super Bowl and this Super Bowl is Saquon and the ripple effects put the Chiefs in even a more uncomfortable position, like times 3 compared to the first Super Bowl matchup. And that's what, ultimately led to their demise.
Despite their quarterback, do you feel like the Eagles are poised here to make a Kansas City Chiefs-like run?
He is number 9 quarterback. This is where you're a pain in the ass. I think he's good.
No, we always celebrate the quarterback.
Give him all the credit for the Super Bowl and the whole season now. That's where this is the world we're in now. Wait, I saw 2 quarters of a game. They were up 24-0, 14 of which were for the defense. But the quarterback's amazing. He carried the team there to the Super Bowl the whole year. And that's what makes my head blow off. That's where I'm like, what? Come on. He's good. He's damn good. He's not an all-time great, and he's not one of the 5 greatest quarterbacks in football right now. He is damn good. And Stugotz, they're going nowhere. They're going nowhere. They shouldn't have gone nowhere 2 years ago.
Exactly.
I mean, that in itself was a miracle demise or falling apart. But the way they're built, the assets they got to play with, I mean, Stugotz, they got guys that, like Milton Williams, their backup D tackle, he's a backup for them. He's going to get $23 million a year. I mean, he's going to get $20 million a year. That's how good they are. It's not only the talent they have as starters, it's the depth. Right? And I think we said this last week. If you made a super team between the Chiefs and the Eagles, I'm Mikey A, help me out. Who we taking on the Chiefs? Mahomes. We're going to take Creed Humphrey, Chris Jones, Trent McDuffie. After that, we're going to start going, I don't know. Maybe
is Joe Thuney playing guard or tackle?
Oh, yeah, Joe Thuney at guard. That would probably be, and then it probably ends about right there.
Maybe Kelsey. So, maybe.
I don't think you take Kelsey over Goddard.
Now we're doing this to Kelsey. What is happening around here? I mean,
right now,
right now, you're taking Goddard right now over Kelsey. Yeah. Jesus Christ. I am.
All right. It's rare that I have news here when we're talking to Sims on a weekly basis that both you and Chris Sims can react to. The Jets have tweeted out, "We have informed Aaron Rodgers that we'll be moving in different directions at quarterback."
Well, didn't we know that? Didn't Jay Glazer tell us that on Super Bowl Sunday?
Yeah, but now it's official. Yeah, the whole McAfee thing, and now the Jets, they're tweeting it out. This is their Twitter account, and they're saying, we have told Aaron to move on. Your thoughts?
Not surprised. I mean, it seemed like that.
Yep.
Now, I know Aaron flew up to New York and had a meeting with the higher-ups in the organization. I thought that in itself was interesting because that at least showed me that, I don't know, was the Jets maybe kicking around the idea of keeping him or whatever? And then, or was it just to call him up to be like, we're moving on? I don't know, right? I don't really know, and I'll know that at some point here, but I haven't got the inside story there.
Right.
So I don't know where that goes, but certainly not surprised. And we know, Rodgers comes with luggage right now.
Yep.
He's not going to have a big market for him because a lot of the teams, one, yes, it's down to the end of his career, but 2, a lot of people don't want to deal with the Aaron Rodgers traveling roadshow and his State of the Union addresses 3 times of the week. And I think that's going to hurt him. So it'll be slim pickings here.
If Aaron Rodgers is the Eagles quarterback, do they beat the Chiefs in the Super Bowl?
Yes, they do.
What?
I mean, but I do think Aaron Rodgers could sit behind great pass protection and throw the ball to A.J. Brown. Yeah, I'm sorry. I do. I don't know.
Don't apologize. I'm pissed. I'm just mad at Fuentes. I mean,
why? My take is
because he agrees with you.
Yeah,
I mean,
Fuentes, he's mad at you that you were right about something publicly on the screen once, and it just drives him crazy.
Thank you.
I want to know.
And now you guys are going to slowly turn all the Tua hate onto me, but Jalen Hurts.
You're doing
it's
it.
All right.
Listen,
that's Billy's job. That's Billy's job,
and he'll take care of it for me. He will. Well, it depends how you answer this question. Does Tua win the Super Bowl if he's the Eagles quarterback?
No.
I don't know. I got to think about it.
That's okay.
I would say so. I
Billy's going to treat you nicely.
I don't want to be disrespectful here, but yeah, it was a dominant performance, like you saw.
Right.
The biggest plays that Jalen Hurts hit or made were some of the ones he made with his legs, right? Those are the moments where you went, ooh, the Chiefs have a chance here to maybe get them off the field and do something, and he'd make a big scramble. Those were some of the biggest plays of the day.
All right.
But yeah, ultimately, it was an Eagles team that on both sides of the ball was just in a totally different class than the Kansas City Chiefs.
I'll get off of this in a second, Chris, but this is the quarterback, okay, in a very selfish time where guys want their stats. They don't care as much about winning, I don't think. This is a guy who, after the bye week, walked into the locker room, told his coach, we need to run the football more, which means he's not going to get his, which means he knows this is going to be the reaction by people after he goes out and wins a Super Bowl. He brought Miles Sanders to a Super Bowl, but he's the guy, the leader of that team, walked in, Nick, we need to run the ball more. There is something to be said for that kind of leadership. I mean, there is.
Yeah, sure. I mean, there's no doubt he's a selfless guy.
Right.
He's definitely an incredible leader. But like you're trying to make it like oh hey, just run the ball and we'll sweat it out against some of these teams because I said run it, so let's not dominate, let's keep it close because I said run it, and we'll just kind of eke out some of these games where we're in a totally different stratosphere than the other team.
All right.
So I get that, all of that, I understand it, but to me these are urban legends again, and things that come out after the fact, right? You're telling me they were like opting to sweat it out against the Jaguars in that football game because they said let's run the ball, let's not dominate them. Jalen said run the ball, so let's keep it close because he said run it. See, and that's like this is getting into we're getting into the old Tom Brady era of like. He looked at a guy by the Gatorade bottle, and they knew he was saying with his eyes, go out there and play better. So the defense played better because Brady looked at him by the Gatorade bottle, and they knew he wanted them to raise their game. Yeah. And that's where I start to go, oh, my gosh, this bullshit that's out there. Right. So, yes, I get he said that, but you're still trying to justify a bunch of averageness with $50 million receivers and a $12 million tight end that they opted not to do that because he said run the ball. And that's where I'll throw the challenge flag on you and say bullshit, Stugotz, bullshit.
I'm trying to think about the quarterback where he would draw the line. Caleb Williams. Drake May. Does Drake May win that game?
Probably. I mean, rookies are tough. Rookies are tough, right? Because they're just inexperienced. They and that's where,
Will Levis.
Well, no, I'm not going to give him that. Sorry. No,
I said quarterback
not.
in the playoffs.
Keep
guys.
going, Mikey. No, but I want to see. I want to see the worst thing we could try
how far it could go.
Yes. Keep going. Bryce Young.
I'm not going to say that yet. I'm not going to give Bryce that credit yet either. I'm not yet. Nope. I'd give it to Tua. I'm not going to give it to Bryce yet. I know we saw 4 games at the end of the year, and now we're ready to say that all things are good in Carolina. But I'm not going to go that far yet.
I got it. Trevor Lawrence.
You're funny. Look at you picking up for Billy. You're such a nice guy there.
Someone has to do it. Sims, what do you make of the rumors, the Cowboys? I guess it's news now that the Cowboys are thinking about trading Micah Parsons.
I mean, I'm shocked a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, Michael Parsons is the best defensive player in the NFL when healthy, right? If you made me pick one guy to start a team with, I'm either going Jalen Carter or Micah Parsons. Damn. But I think might speak to, again, there's a lot of holes there in Dallas. There really is. And they got to pay, I mean, the highest defensive player in football, period. That's where it should start. He's better than Nick Bosa. He should be paid higher than Nick Bosa. Are they going to be willing to pay, Dak, CeeDee Lamb, and Michael Parsons as the, top 3 highest at their position? That's tough to do. And like we talked about, there's other needs there. So I don't know if this is scare tactic to try to get him to lower his asking price, Or is it real and they're going, we got a lot of issues with the team and this is our best asset and we can get a lot of stuff back for them? I don't know that yet.
Micah Parsons for the number 3 pick to the Patriots. Who says no?
Wow.
That's a good deal.
Yeah,
Yes.
You're right. They might think about that. I mean, that would be game changing on that side of the ball. No doubt about it.
They have the money.
They do have the money. You're right. I don't know if I see that as a Mike Vrabel type of move, right? Like, I don't look at him as that kind of guy, but it makes sense. And Micah Parsons, just like Myles Garrett, everybody in football is going to look at their team and go, wait, would this make sense for us? Can we make this work, except for a handful of teams? So I hear you there. And I'll be interested to see who comes after Micah.
Chris, if you're the Bengals, do you simply franchise T. Higgins? Is that what you would do?
I would.
Yeah.
I would. I'd franchise him. I'd hope to get a long-term deal done with him. And then if not, tag and trade.
Right.
I think that's the way to go.
Man.
I mean, the franchise tag number is beneath what he's worth as a receiver. So I think it's like a definite I would do that. The Bengals, hey, they got to figure it out. The Bengals want to be up there with the big boys in football, but I go, wait, the way your salary is in your team, you have a very short list of high-paid quality football players. It's like the shortest in football, right? And of their stars, they're not even paying them that well.
Right.
Jamar Chase, we know, still hasn't gotten worked out. Trey Hendrickson, way below market value. These are like 2 of the 3 highest-paid guys on the team. We know Joe Burrow's really the only guy being paid market value for what he is. So the Bengals, a little bit like the Cowboys, like to drag their feet on these contract situations to the point where it gets the players got on the leverage instead of getting out in front of it like the Eagles do and go, damn, Devontae Smith is good. We don't need to get to the end of this contract. Let's pay him now so we can, maybe save some dollars. Our all-pro left guard, Landon Dickerson, let's pay him now before he gets to free agency and we have to pay him a load of money. And that's why the Eagles are the Eagles and some of the good teams, the Ravens, other teams, they get out in front of these things. And the Bengals and Cowboys wait to the players as good as they could possibly be with the best leverage they could be. And then they go, oh, we can't figure out a contract. And that's just a hard way to win a Super Bowl that way.
As you know, the playoffs, I think like 50% on average, like half the teams that made it this year won't make it next year. And some new teams will sneak in. So I just want to ask you, and we're getting ahead of ourselves because we just finished up this year. But I am wondering, when you look ahead to next year, if I tell you the Carolina Panthers are going to make the playoffs, would you say I'm nuts?
I wouldn't say you're nuts.
Okay.
I would not. I don't think they're as far off as people realize. The O-line's pretty damn good. The D-line, when Derek Brown is healthy, right, it's not bad either. They can use a few adjustments there. But I think you look at that and, like, wide receiver, right, and they got to get a few playmakers out there. I don't think they're far off to being competitive. I wouldn't, say next year's a playoff year, but I wouldn't call you crazy. I would almost look at it and go, 2 years from now,
right,
watch out. Carolina, I think by then could get the roster in the spot that could be legit and a real playoff team.
All right. Would you be surprised if the Patriots make it next year?
Absolutely not. I mean,
they're going to make it, right?
My thoughts. I mean, Vrabel's a guy that's capable of coaching a team that's less than and getting them to the playoffs.
Yes.
So no, I would not be shocked with that quarterback, some of the moves they'll make this offseason and the new culture there under Vrabel. I wouldn't be shocked if they were a team that exceeded expectations, almost like a Denver Broncos did this year, and sneak into the playoffs their first year when they shouldn't have.
How about the Falcons?
I certainly wouldn't be surprised there.
Yeah.
I don't think the Falcons are far off at all. I mean, Michael Penix, I think, will make their offense more dangerous and explosive. They need a pass rusher. Really, when you look at them, that's like the only thing they need. Maybe a pass rusher, maybe another corner. But they're close. They are really close. So I definitely wouldn't be shocked if Atlanta got in next year.
Cowboys?
Not shocking, but I feel like it's lesser than Atlanta. I got to see things with Dallas. I mean, 1, Dak coming off injury. 2, who's the running back? 3, they don't really have a receiver on their roster that most people on the street know other than CeeDee Lamb. right? The defense, we've been talking about their inability to stop the run for like 5 years now because of defensive tackles. So no, I don't think it'd be shocking if they got in, but again, I don't think I'd bet on it. I don't think they're there yet.
So what you're saying is you don't agree with Dak when he said that they're just as good as the Eagles?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. That's they're not in the same class. Now they've been competitive against the Eagles, right? Because hey, they're a division team and all that. But no, I think in totality, again, you heard me say it. This is an Eagles team that I'd put up there with any team that we've seen in the modern day free agency salary cap era.
All right. Just one the other way, and we'll get you out of here. Check him out, PFT with Mike Florio, every day on Peacock, the Unbuttoned podcast. Would you be shocked if the Chiefs didn't make the playoffs next year?
Yeah, I would be shocked.
Oh, wow.
I would.
It's going to happen.
They're a playoff team, but they got to change some things on their roster to become like a dominant Super Bowl caliber team. It can't just be, hey, we're going to keep the game close and we just believe when it's close, Mahomes will make magic and pull it through. That's kind of how they've lived the last few years. And it's going to be hard to beat teams like the Lions, the Ravens, the Eagles, and the way they're built right now playing that style of football. Because those teams are also good in close games, yet they have a big-time talent advantage. And that's where the Chiefs definitely got to make some adjustments to the roster.
Mikey A, he is off to get his hair cut. How much do you believe Chris Sims tips the person who cuts his hair? What do you think?
Oh, it's high. He's
really?
Sims is a good tipper. Yeah, I can tell.
Right.
Sims is a guy that he's a guy that does $100 handshakes.
Right. I tip well. No doubt about it.
There's an expectation that comes with being a Sims, right? Like they know who you are, right?
Yeah. My dad at an early age told me don't tip, over tip, right? He taught me a lot of these people that you got to tip are doing jobs that you don't want to do.
Yeah.
And be grateful for that. So I try to be. That's the one way I try to give back. I do.
Right.
I'm the guy. I mean, I go around. I tip the guy that cuts my hair pretty good. I tip the woman that washes my hair before the haircut pretty good.
Nice,
right? I'm one of those guys. I am, and I try to help out in some way, somehow.
Fuentes
let me know if you ever need me to give you a hair wash. Or
right,
something.
I'll wash you. How much do you tip for a hair wash?
I'll get in there. Yeah. That's one thing. Because every now and then they have like a guy wash my hair, and I'm like, come on, all these girls around, and I can't get one of them to wash my hair right now. I got to deal with some gross guy that probably had his fingers in his nose a few minutes ago. I don't want guys washing my hair.
Right, you're not objecting to guys. You're objecting to what guys do with their hands. You're right.
Exactly right. I mean, I see too many guys that pull this move off right here. Put their hand, and then they slick their hair with it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you're disgusting. Get out of here.
Yeah, I've done it. Fuentes is shocked that you tip the person who washes your hair.
No, I'm just surprised of like the 2-stage haircut. It's like
I know.
Person,
it's at times I think I am maybe too generous, and then I'm like, well, this is what they expect, so I got to keep doing that. That's what my wife subs to me sometimes. She's like, you're a generous tipper already. Now when you leave a tip like that, they expect it every time.
Yes.
And I'm kind of like when I go out to dinner and stuff like that, I probably tip like 35-40%. I'm kind of one of those guys.
Right. It dawned on me that he goes to a salon. He doesn't go to a barber shop. Yeah. You go to a salon.
I did. I just, I just figured, hey, I'm on TV. I'm going to spend a few extra dollars with somebody I just trust a little bit more, right?
It's part of the job. Part of the job.
Barber, I've had a mistake or two over the years when I've gone to see the barber.
Yeah.
Where I just, being on NBC, I don't want to trust that right now.
All right. So it's $100 haircut, right? Like it has to be at least.
It's $100 haircut. It's $100 haircut, and I'll be quite honest with you. Here you go. I give my haircutter $40, and I give the woman that washes my hair $20.
Excellent job by you, Sims, as you should.
So
yes,
it might might be bougie, but I've been fortunate in my life. I grew up with a silver spoon in my mouth,
right?
Growing up under Big Phil,
yeah.
And I've been fortunate enough to where my life has gone. So I try to give back in those moments.
All right, now if the washer of the hair picks his nose beforehand and then sticks his, are you still tipping him the $20?
I am. I'm still
really.
Tipping him. I am, probably just because I'll feel bad, and I'll probably be like, all right, well, there's soap in the shampoo, so his hand's not that dirty. But I might say something. You know me. I'm not scared. I'm not scared to say something.
Oh, I know.
Like I have said to the guy a few times, like, "Damn, you gotta wash my hair. I can't get one of these girls to do it." And they laugh, and I'm like, "No, I'm dead serious, actually."
All right, PFT with Mike Florio every day on Peacock, the Unbuttoned podcast. It is off-season Chris Sims. I like off-season Chris Sims.
Hey, off-season, you know it. It's not off-season for very long. I got a week off, and then it's right to the combine and start doing free agency and draft. So we'll be right back at it on my podcast. That's for sure.
All right, buddy. Another great year. We appreciate everything you've done for our show over the years, and we will talk to you as we get closer to the NFL draft and as we get closer to baseball season. You don't know it yet, but you're doing a baseball segment with me and Billy, okay?
Okay. All right. Sounds good. I mean, if Billy shows up, I mean, really, fuck you, Billy, for not showing up for my last appearance here for a while. What a jerk. Mikey A, true professional, as always, as expected. Stugotz. Tell me where to sign up for the Jalen Hurts fan club, and I'll join in with you. All right. But fuck you, Billy.
All right. Both of you and Fuentes. I mean, seriously.
Stick together, Fuentes. Me and you, baby.
Bo Nix.
Oh, boy.
See ya.
All right, Stugotz.
Yes.
We're running out of time here.
Okay.
And we debuted a new game.
Okay.
I teased another game. I don't know if we have time to play that game if you want to today. I found out a lot from Chris Sims that he gets $100 haircuts.
He does. He also agreed with Mikey A's take, which infuriates me. Yes. Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry.
Just wrong. Jalen Hurts not getting any credit. Anyway, let's play the game.
Oh, you want to play the game?
Yes.
How many times? How often do you think these $100 haircuts occur?
For Sims?
Yeah.
I would say once every 2 to 3 weeks.
I was talking to Fuentes off air, and we think because of the fact that he's on Football Night in America that they may be weekly.
Perhaps.
Like he may have $400 a month budget for his haircut. Now, hold on. Did he give you specifics? Like, is it $100 plus tip, or that's including tip?
$100, $40 tip for the hair cutter, and $20 for the washer.
Yeah, I think all encompassing for
160.
everybody.
Yes.
No, I think it was around 100. I'm not sure. You might have been right though.
No, 100 with a 40% tip, $40 for the person who cut his hair, and $20 for the person who washes his hair.
Yeah, because if not, he'd be giving a $60 tip on a $40 haircut. Crimson is not getting a $40 haircut.
He said he's a good tipper.
Yeah, well.
He's giving a $40 tip on a $100 haircut. So
40% for those doing the math at
what
home.
can I be like not great at professionally and then just talk about at an elite level where I become super rich? I need to find that.
Right. I've done it.
Football.
Okay, so here's my game. It's called Aaron or Aaron.
Oh, wow.
All right?
Wow.
Okay.
New game.
Now I'll ask you a
Trotting
question.
them all out today, huh?
I'll ask you a question, and then you have to tell me if you would trust Aaron Glenn or Aaron Rodgers. But just tell me Aaron. I'll take Aaron on that one, all right?
Okay, so Aaron or Aaron?
Yeah, so the Jets just played a game. They were the originals that played this game of Aaron or Aaron, where they said, you know what, we need a new head coach. Not sure what we're going to do with the direction of this franchise. We have Aaron Glenn here. We have Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers, by the way, was told, and Diana Rossini, I believe, is when they reported this, told, hey, if you want to stay on the Jets, no more Pat McAfee show.
Yeah.
And I guess that he said, no, I'm going to keep doing that. And they said, okay, well, then in the original game of Aaron or Aaron, we're going with Aaron.
Yes, they
and
chose
they
Aaron.
went with Aaron Glenn, and they said, Aaron, hit the road, Jack.
Yep.
Yeah, because that's how you do it when you play Aaron or Aaron.
Yeah.
Losing Aaron always has to hit the road.
Hit the road, Jack.
Yeah, presented by Smirnoff,
That's
the
good
world's
to know.
#1 vodka. Please drink responsibly.
Okay.
Okay, so if it were up to you guys, Mikey A and Stugotz, and
Yes.
you had to choose Aaron Glenn or Aaron Rodgers to lead your team next year, would you go Aaron or Aaron?
I'm going Aaron.
Yeah, I go Aaron.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Yep.
All right.
All right.
Now,
Huh.
if you wanted someone to lead your team in a rousing speech to get the troops ready,
Yes.
Now, you've known one for 3
that's
years,
easy.
the other one not as long. Are you going Aaron or Aaron?
It has to be Aaron.
Come on, man. It's easily Aaron.
I can't choose Aaron Donald.
It could be Aaron Donald, too, if you'd like.
Huh.
Well, in that case, I'm taking Aaron.
Can it be Hank Aaron?
Hammer and Hank could be.
Huh. I'm going to take Aaron.
All right.
Yes.
So Aaron. Mikey?
Aaron.
Yeah.
It's Aaron.
right.
All day, Aaron.
Okay, now, off the gridiron here, which is another segment that we can play later on in the offseason. But off the gridiron here, vacation time's coming around. Who are we vacationing with, Aaron or Aaron?
Aaron.
God bless football.
God bless football.